Hey, it's Joel Erway from Experts Unleashed, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to plan your online course for ultimate success, how to create the content in the best consumption possible so your audience has the best experience. Let's jump over to the whiteboard and jump into today's lesson. Okay, so today's video is really important because I know without a shadow of a doubt, if you've ever considered creating an online course, it can be completely overwhelming. What do I talk about? How do I organize my content? What's the order in which I do it? Is it too much information? Is it not enough information? I know all those thoughts that are going through your mind. So I've created this fancy schmancy diagram here with my awesome stick figures, which if you've followed any of my other videos, you know I love to draw stick figures. But I've created this video to help put your mind at ease so you can get a clear path to success so you don't get overwhelmed. Because if you're overwhelmed and you're not following a clear order, imagine what your students are going through your potential course. Because if they're confused, their experience is going to be completely shot, and that's not good as an online expert. So when I created my first courses, I knew anytime that I create content, I always start with one specific goal, right? I create one specific statement that simply says, by the end of this course, by the end of this piece of content, you're going to experience what, right? And that blank is where I start, right? So let me give you an example. If I were teaching a course on how to create an online course, let's just be completely congruent here. If I were to teach a course on how to create an online course, that end statement was where I'm going to start. I always start with the end in mind, because when I start with the end in mind, I know where I need to stop with my content, okay? So if I create that statement that says, by the end of this course, you're going to learn what? And I fill in the blanks. So I'm gonna create that in my mind right now, and I'm gonna say, okay, by the end of this course, you're going to understand how to create your online course so students have the best experience and the best retention rate, and you get more referrals and more positive feedback. Something like that. That's a very rough draft. I literally just came up with it at the top of my head. Now that I've got the end in mind, and I've got my guy here standing at the top with his arms up in the air because he's super happy he just completed his course, the end goal that I want them to achieve is by the end of that course, they're going to learn how to create their own course so it's ready to go and ready to market. Now there's one critical difference here, and this is what is going to really help get you clear on what to include and what not to include. The other thing that I could include with courses is how to sell the courses. And when I start to sketch all this out and I say, okay, what's included with how to market and sell a course? I could probably come up with 15 different modules that I could include to teach them how to sell their course. But it's important to differentiate. In the grand scheme of your process, it's important to differentiate how much is too much and how much is not enough. So I create a list of all of these different things for how to market your course, and I realized, okay, there's 10 to 15 things that I could talk inside of just how to market and sell your course. That's probably enough for its own separate course. Because the reality is, you want to get them as quick of a win as possible. And I know there's a lot of people who are just getting started out that still want to learn how to build their own course first. And there's probably 5 to 10 core things that I could teach inside of that course alone. Make sense? So you want to make sure that you're not teaching too much and you have clear milestones put in place. Because if they don't have their course even identified yet, there's no point in going out to learning how to market and sell it because they don't even have it ready to go yet. So I'm going to stop at this particular level and say, okay, by the end, you're going to learn how to create your course so it's ready to market and sell. Because I don't want to overwhelm them, because I want them to get as quick of a win as possible. So now I start at the end with the end in mind. And I say, okay, the end goal here is by the end, they're going to have their course ready to go. And I'm identifying the core components that they need to learn, the core steps that they need to learn from when they start at the very beginning, which is no course at all, no idea, no content, nothing. And by the end, they're going to say, okay, great. I've validated my idea. I've created my course. I've got my domain name set up. I've got all of my content recorded. I know all the tools that I need to buy. I know all of the tools that I need to use. I'm ready to rock and roll. So now I start with the end and I look at where they are in the beginning. I say, okay, what's the roadmap that I need to get to that I need to teach them in order to get to this end goal, which is a completed course? Well, step number one, they're going to have to validate their idea and pick the niche. Step number two, they're probably going to have to figure out, okay, where's the market? How do I find that market of what people are interested in? Step number three, how do I get this stuff online? I've never built anything online. How do I get a domain name? How do I pick my learning management tool to host this course? All of these things I'm listing down, and I'm following this as if it were step by step by step. You cannot complete step two without completing step one. You cannot complete step three without completing step two. And by the end of it, after I complete all these steps, boom, I'm gonna have a completed course. Going in sequential order and hitting those major milestones helps you identify the topics for your courses and then brings them into the next stage so you can sell them the next course or the next program, whatever it has to be. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this content here, how to plan your course. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like that down below. If this made it interesting, if it was entertaining, and if you found value from this in planning out your course, please comment down below, like down below, and share it with your audience, share it with your friends and family who might be interested in starting their own online course. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Experts Unleashed so you don't miss any future videos. That's what I've got for you today. Joel here, and I'm signing out. Take care.